a young star of the American right and close friend of President Donald Trump. Charlie Kirk was shot dead during a campus debate.
In America, over the last 10 years.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
All I hear is screaming, and I see people running, and all I'm saying is, please God, please God, please God, because I don't want to die. I don't want anybody else to die, and I think I just saw a guy die, you know?
A major manhunt's launched, and in less than 36 hours, a suspect is caught.
We got him.
Charlie Kirk was one of America's loudest political voices, with a huge following amongst young voters. Aged just 31, he was an ally of President Trump and an activist who mobilized those who agreed with him by debating in public with those who did not. In those debates and with a daily podcast, Charlie Kirk courted controversy on issues like gender and race. His death has shone a light on those issues and on others like free speech and gun control, and the partisan divide in America. We'll look back at the 36 hours since the shooting, the reaction to it, and the hunt for his killer. Let's start by going back to that college event on Wednesday. Charlie Kirk appeared at around 12:10 p.m. local time, throwing hats into the crowd at the Utah Valley University as part of his American comeback tour. The event began like any of his other events, but shortly after he began engaging with students, he was asked this question about gun violence in the US.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
He's hit by a single gunshot to the neck, and he collapses to his left. We've paused the video at this moment as it's too graphic to show. Panic quickly ensues, and the crowd immediately scatters. Charlie Kirk is bundled into a car and driven away. Investigators say the shooter arrived on campus at 11:52 a.m. This video was filmed before the shooting. We can see a figure on the rooftop, and this was video after Charlie Kirk was shot. You can see the person on top of the same building moving across the roof. Some of those who'd been in the crowd as the shot was fired spoke about what they had seen.
The first student got up and they were talking about religion, Mormonism, and Christianity. And the second student to get up was talking about transgenderism and how gun violence has been very frequent with that community. And that is when it happened.
I was watching from pretty close up and I heard a pop. And I thought, no, that nobody's shooting firecrackers, right? This is the middle of the day.
As soon as we heard the shot and we saw what had happened, we all dropped to the ground. And I want to say we sat like that for about 30 to 45 seconds. And then everyone around us got up and started running. They had moved the barricade and we all fled from behind Kirk's tent.
Yeah, we ran about 30 seconds into a building and just went under a desk in there.
All I hear is screaming, and I see people running, and I'm like, it's not safe to run, it's not safe to get up, it's not. And all I'm saying is, please God, please God, please God, because I don't want to die, I don't want anybody else to die, and I think I just saw a guy die, you know?
As news of the shooting began to reverberate around the world and the severity of his injuries remained unclear, Donald Trump took to social media, urging people to pray and calling him a great guy from top to bottom. Then, around 2 hours later, another post from the president confirmed Charlie Kirk's death to the world. Writing on Truth Social, the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead, adding, no one understood or had the heart of the youth in the US more than him. Our North America editor, Sarah Smith, has been taking a look at the reaction to his death.
Charlie Kirk reached places and people other politicians simply could not, especially with younger voters. Frequently debating anyone who disagreed with him.
Okay, so it's a fertilized embryo.
Correct, which is not a baby.
So at what point does it become a baby?
When it is born.
Oh.
He built a huge, devoted, worldwide following.
Are you trying to say that blacks thrive under subjugation?
No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid.
His organization, founded when he was just 18, helped to make conservatism cool and accessible. President Trump has said he would not be back in the White House without Charlie Kirk. He was visibly angry as he addressed the nation and blamed those he holds responsible.
For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today.
On television, shock, sadness, and anger that sounds very combative.
They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. What are we going to do about it?
Charlie Kirk's a casualty of war. We're in this country. We are.
Charlie Kirk was very big online, as was the reaction to his murder, including calls to punish left-wing activists. Right-wing journalist Matt Forney said, "Charlie Kirk being assassinated is the American Reichstag fire. It's time for a complete crackdown on the left. Every Democratic politician must be arrested and the party banned." This clip of Kirk defending gun rights has been used by left-wingers online to ridicule his murder.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal.
A prominent Democrat directly blamed politicians who'd voted against gun control.
People can finger point all they want. Look at the record. Look at the actions of what we are doing. I don't think a single person who has dedicated their entire career to preventing gun safety legislation from getting passed in this House has any right to blame anybody else but themselves for what is happening.
The liberal-leaning TV network MSNBC has fired a political analyst who seemed to blame Kirk's killing on Kirk himself.
He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. Just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
You should be allowed to say outrageous things. You should be allowed to say contrarian things.
Kirk's organisation said he had received many threats against him, but believed in the power of good faith debate to bring people to mutual understanding, if not agreement. They say he's now become a martyr to free speech.
Meanwhile, new details in the investigation emerged. The FBI said they'd recovered a high-powered bolt-action rifle, and they now had a timeline of the gunman's movements.
Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood.
At the same news conference late on Thursday, the governor of Utah made this plea for any information that could help catch the shooter.
We cannot do our job without the public's help right now. The public has answered our call for action. So far, we've received more than 7,000 leads and tips. I would just note that the FBI hasn't received this many digital media tips from the public since the Boston Marathon bombing.
With this new information came a clearer picture of how the assassination unfolded. BBC Verify's Nick Beak was piecing together what we knew on the ground in Utah.
Footage released by the FBI shows a figure running across a roof from where Charlie Kirk was shot dead, reaching the edge and then jumping down, apparently carrying a bag, before briskly walking away from the chaos unfolding on campus. The hunt for Charlie Kirk's killer entered a second night. Special agents gathering evidence here at Utah Valley University and elsewhere. So what do we know about the investigation so far? The FBI have released these new, sharper images of someone they're calling a person of interest. The FBI says the bullet was fired from this building, the Lucy Center, some 130 meters away from where Charlie Kirk was speaking. The new CCTV appears to show a person heading for this road, called Campus Drive. Investigators say they recovered a weapon, a rifle, over the road. We think it could be in this wooded area here. Beyond the campus, investigators have been working to pick up the killer's trail, but there are clues left behind at the scene. Drone footage shows the campus frozen in time. Here, on the roof of the Lucy Centre, you can see these indentations, highlighted with these orange markers. The FBI have said they found palm prints and footprints. From this elevated spot, it was a clear shot towards Charlie Kirk.
As the manhunt continued, the US president led tributes to Charlie Kirk, posthumously awarding him America's highest civilian honour.
We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd.
And a further distinction for Charlie Kirk came later on Thursday. Vice President J.D. Vance flying to Utah to collect the casket, carrying it aboard Air Force Two to Charlie Kirk's home state of Arizona. The Vice President's wife was seen comforting his widow. He also leaves behind 2 young children. Friday came and America was gripped by a huge manhunt involving thousands of law enforcement officials. As Americans were waking up, President Trump appeared on Fox News. And this was the moment, a key development.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant that was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is.
Soon after, officials in Utah confirmed 22-year-old Tyler Robinson had been arrested late on Thursday night after a manhunt of 33 hours. The state's governor said the suspect had been turned in by a friend of his family.
We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI.
And so they got him. But the governor of Utah had more to say about politics and violence and the sorrow he felt in recent days. He had this to say about what Charlie Kirk was known for, what he died doing, debating with young people.
Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much.
Charlie Kirk was a divisive figure. Now, as America prepares for his funeral, his fans and critics alike will have to contend with his legacy.